To our global CTKS family, we're grateful that you're here. All of us together make this one of the best communities on YouTube. Here, we use the world's leading indicator of price, the CTKS method, to give us X-ray vision across stocks, cryptos, forex, commodities, and yields. So we can see what the top 1% in financial markets see before the move happens. That's a license to print money and a way to stay safe. Whilst others are panicked, we are calm. When others guess, we stack probabilities. We don't fall for hype or stories, we profit from reality. We know making just 3.5% per week is a 498% profit per year. We are the elite 1% in financial markets. Price moves in waves, so no matter if price is going up or down, please be kind to yourself, be kind to others, be dedicated and committed, and never blame. Instead, learn and grow into the best version of yourself. Let's see what the markets are doing today. Something really important happened in the 2012 halving cycle right here inside price action. You can see the price was coming up and then it dipped like hell and then went parabolic. What was this? This was the US government shutdown. 2013 is a long time ago, but US government shutdowns create a lot of problems inside the macroeconomic scene. Let's just zoom in to current price on Bitcoin. The US government shutdown has had a dramatic impact on the crypto market. Bitcoin is currently $110,042. Inside this month's service video, I'm going to explain this little line behind this chart. This chart line is incredibly important. If it keeps on going up, we're fine. If it keeps going down, we would expect a retracement. That is a secret signal. And the elite service members, I'll give you an insight into what that actually means. Also, please note the Bitcoin levels have come out, as well as total crypto market cap, Pepe, inside the service, so please make sure to update your level 1 and level 2 standard certification lines by just updating the indicator. Now, when we look into the top crypto projects, and it's very important to constrain your focus, these particular cryptos are the top cryptos in the crypto market. Now, the reason that we stay with these is there's just too much dilution inside the market at the current time. The alt season did actually happen, but not as people anticipated. There are currently 26.44 million crypto projects in existence. They're all fighting to be the next 100x, and they can't all make it. This means that unlike past cycles where we had a lot of concentration inside the crypto market and a lot of problems from the government in terms of just saying crypto is illegal, it's for drug runners, for money launderers, for people who use too much electricity, well, we're not getting any of that comment inside the AI space at the moment, especially about electricity. But the issue is, in past cycles, we saw a lot of top-end concentration, so the money was fighting for a small box. Now we've got 26.44 million crypto projects, and people are wondering why their money is bleeding to death. Welcome to alt season. When we look at the crypto projects that the service focuses in on, you can see that there's been really good gains. And that's not by accident and not by mistake. You can see that the crypto market, when people chase the 100x gain, they're chasing their money down to zero, unfortunately. But when people focus where the institutions are putting their money in, they can do incredibly well. This is exactly why the service focuses on the top names, because they're the safest. And you don't need to be inside the service to benefit from this. Just look at the biggest boxes on crypto heat maps. That's where your funds are safest. A lot of people are out chasing really big X's, like 100x or 1,000,000x. And they do happen from time to time, but generally not to the average retail investor and trader. Now, why is that the case? Because the early investors, the seed, the venture capital funds, yeah, they make the 100x. The truth is that you don't have to make big percentages to make big percentages. I discuss this a lot inside the Profiting Masterclass. You don't have to make big percentages to make big percentages. If you turned over just 3.5% per week, we're not talking per hour or per day or per 3 days, just per week. And in the end of a year, week 52, you would be looking at about a 500% profit. That is only 3.5% per week. One thing that you'll find, if you go too far and down the risk curve outside the top cryptos, you could suffer losses like this, and it's generally why people get their accounts smashed. Now, don't forget, this is just on spot. So if we were looking at Saga or Dimension, Mantra, Dogs for the past year, we can see that they've been seriously smashed. The more risk that you take on in crypto, the greater is your potential to make gains like this, negative ones. This is really unfortunate, but it's true. That's why if you just focus in on the top cryptos and just making your 3.5% or 4% or 5% or whatever percent that you want to make, whatever feels comfortable to you, you can do really, really well. And of course, you can trade these other projects, but please be careful. You must know what you're doing. Make sure that you've marked up the chart with at least level 1 and level 2 standard certification. That way, you'll know where the algorithms are going to buy and going to sell. And if you don't know that, you put yourself at the mercy of the markets. For the Profiting Masterclass students, I think it's really important that you continuously revise, especially week 1. Week 1 is about retail trade perfection. So when you look at retail trade perfection, people are brought into the market and they'll look at a chart like this and say, I don't really know what I'm looking at. Whereas when we look through the CTKS method, we look completely differently. We know that around 11,200, 11,300, there's a lot of overhead structural resistance. And we also know that down around that 109,740 is structural support, and a little bit around that 109,540. In other words, we know exactly where the algorithms are going to come in and sell or buy. And this is incredibly important. If you don't do this, you will get consistently whipsawed out of the market and not understand the dynamics of what is actually going on. You'll listen to a lot of people, and those people will tell you, oh, you must chase 100x. You've got to make these huge percentage gains. You have to leverage. You don't have to do any of those things. You must understand the market first and foremost. And that's the biggest problem that most people have. They simply don't understand how the market works. For the crypto market, if Bitcoin is coming up, your beloved alts are coming up as well. If Bitcoin hits overhead structural resistance, this is where the sellers and the selling algorithms will come into the market and push the price down. It means that your beloved alts will be moving down as well until they find either GWs, which are called gravitational wells, or sufficient levels of structural support to pull the buyers back into the market. And if you're in these fresh air gaps, which are called CTKS gaps, you can get a lot of up and downside volatility. It can get wild inside these gaps. Just some quick news that could help you a lot. These are going to be events that could shift price around quite substantially inside the market. November the 10th, the CBOE, Continuous Bitcoin and Ether Futures launch. This will open institutional adoption. Even more so, November the 14th. Just remember the futures can really push price around. So this is something that we need to be realistically aware of. November the 14th, the Franklin Templeton XRP ETF deadline. November the 19th is the earliest XRP ETF approval window. December the 3rd, the Ethereum Fusaka upgrade. And November the 29th, the Hype token vesting begins. There's a lot of unlock inside Hype. And if you don't know what that means, when tokens vest, so when tokens come onto the market, you've got a lot of different investors and they have to hold their tokens before they can sell them. Now, when they can sell them, they can dump them on the market and that forces the price down. These are things to be aware of. Now, the hype unlock is 47% of the supply. That's a lot. A top crypto project that has done incredibly well is BNB. Now, Binance, the BNB token, is for trading fee discounts and a lot of other things. It relates to the Binance ecosystem. BNB is a very good project to be aware of, and it is quite volatile, so it does give those really neat returns that we're after. But again, if you were to just look at this price chart and try to figure out from moving averages and different things where the support and resistance levels were on Binance Coin, you would be under a lot of duress. Instead, we rely on level 1 and level 2 standard certification to let us know exactly and precisely where those levels are. And we need to know them because when you're dealing with markets and you're putting substantial funds in, and whatever that means to you, it is really important to know where the algorithms will come in and support price, which would be around that 107, 1079.20 mark and down at the 1074.30. This is where BNB's price will get supported. Where's the resistance inside the market? It's at 1086.80 and then up higher at around that 1099 mark. So now you actually know where the algorithms will seek to sell and where the algorithms will seek to buy. But you just can't look at Binance Coin or BNB. You need to look at Bitcoin and total, and you need to compare them all structurally. For the Profiting Masterclass students, please make sure that you go back and look at those lessons if you're a little bit rusty on it. And BNB was also released inside the service. The new releases have this kind of light blue purpley or dark blue purple kind of background. Last month was red. Now, I mentioned that we need to look at total crypto market cap as well as Bitcoin, and if your money chart was, for example, BNB, you need to look at total and crypto structurally, and of course Binance structurally as well. Let's just throw the indicator on from inside the service. Now, this tells us exactly in terms of where the entire crypto market will come into resistance. Now, this is very important. Even if your money chart is down the risk curve or into the risky areas, you must look at total crypto market cap and Bitcoin structurally and then your chart. So what does this mean? For example, total crypto market cap is at 3.66 trillion right now. It's nearly trying to flip this structural support level, and it may or may not do it. It's a little bit early to tell. Now, you may not be able to see it, but there's a structural support and it's quite light around the 3.65. Now, these levels are very important to hold. If we do something like this and underside test the 3.65, we're moving down to the 3.6 trillion. Now, if we're doing that, the entire crypto market will have negative momentum moving down to these lower levels until we hit this 3.6, and we could overshoot it. For the positive side, up at around that 3.7 trillion, we've got several overhead structural resistance areas. This is where the bots and smart money across the entire crypto market will come in and seek to sell price down. This is wildly important to know. If you don't know where there's sell pressure across the market, you're going to be flying blind, and you cannot afford to do so. If you go to the homepage at ctksmethod.org and then just scroll down, there's an area where you can pick up the free cheat sheet. This free cheat sheet is incredible. You can just download it here. This is the next essential piece in the jigsaw puzzle. The cheat sheet has 7 rows which measure risk on and risk off sentiment right across the stock market, commodities, forex, yields, just about everything, crypto and stocks. We must know how everything is moving together. We are the top 1%. We don't leave things to trial and error, and we don't look at something and say, oh, I guess it's going up or I guess it's going down. We look for the signs. Then we put everything into a structured institutional grade edge. We do the cheat sheet so we understand how risk on and risk off sentiment is changing across the market. Then we use level 1 and level 2 standard certification to draw up the pressure lines inside the charts. For example, where are the algorithms going to support price, and if it fails, where are the algorithms going to come back in to buy up? This is really important. Inside level 2 standard certification, the monthly structural models are drawn, and they're shared inside the service as well. The service is just a way for you to save an enormous amount of time. It's absolutely optional. And then we look at the long view forecast models. But the key to understand, if we're getting risk off, for example, if the markets are retracing, that will cause negative price momentum inside structure and push things from, say, positive paths to neutral paths, even to negative paths, or potentially push things along the negative path on the monthly structural model. If you do not know the daily cheat sheet, the structure, how structure is going to be targeted across the month, your long view forecast, and this is where everybody starts, and it's the absolutely most misleading thing in the entire world. Just like you have to chase 100x gains, or like you have to use leverage. Instead, we know that we have to understand, and just bear in mind that these dotted lines, they're not just randomly drawn. It takes 2 levels of standard certification to draw up CTKS levels. Level 1 is the fundamental core. Level 2 is where all the magic happens. Level 1 without level 2 is nothing. Literally, you must do both. And in level 2, you do the paths. And those paths are very, very valuable. The elite members of the service already know the paths and targets for this end of month for Bitcoin, Total, and BNB. The reason that I'm talking about the service so much in this particular video, normally I don't do so, it's just that a lot of people have reached out and said, Ken, can you explain the service a little bit better? Well, basically, it takes all the components of the cheat sheet, does the 3-dimensional paths for it, the up path, the neutral path, and the down path. And they're very, very important. If we see progressive and prolonged negative price momentum, it is always structurally bound. So the price waves always follow structure. So you get those structural targets, and in previous videos we've gone through structural targets on gold and silver and a wide variety of these other charts. They come from the service. That alone is incredibly valuable. That's like having JP Morgan in your corner. It's extremely powerful stuff. You will get the estimate on Bitcoin's up and down targets. And this is very important because we do 3-dimensional thinking. Price is always moving in a wave, either up or down. If price moves down, it just doesn't go straight down. This is where you can make your percentages, and something the Profiting Masterclass specializes in are downtrends at spot to make money. Now, why is that? Because that's the hardest thing on earth to do. And if you can do it, you have the superpower. And that superpower can last you an entire lifetime. XRP is going to get a lot of attention potentially this month, so I'll make sure that XRP is released in the next 24 hours in terms of the markup, level 1 and level 2 standard certification. Also, Ethereum will be coming out in the next 24 hours as well. Please let me know, what is your take on the markets? Do you feel that we're going to see lower structural support levels or higher structural resistance levels getting taken out? And as we do in each and every video, I'll go through the cheat sheet now for you. If you found a new knowledge gem or learned something new, please share it in the comments. We are a community of abundance, not scarcity. If you're new, we would love for you to become part of our global family. All you need to do is smash like, subscribe, press the notification bell, and comment on what time it is now. Doing this shows that you are committed to forging a better life for yourself and the ones that you love. With financial literacy, you can become recession-proof. Trading and investing are lifelong professions. Tourists visit during bull markets only to get wiped out, but professionals stay no matter the market conditions because they know that making just 3% per week is a 365% return per year. We are the elite 1% in financial markets. You will create security and financial freedom in direct proportion to your willingness to learn and grow, and never blame. If you commit, your world will improve immediately. If you're going through a life pullback, our love and healing thoughts are with you. The sun will come out again. There is always hope. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Show gratitude and happiness, and you'll already feel richer today, and today is all we ever really have. Kate and I very much look forward to joining you again in the next video.